What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. We hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you are going to have a very happy, safe, healthy start to the new year. The Dallas Cowboys made sure that we started off really the new year with an interesting kind of run of events, what with their dramatic win over the Detroit Lions. I know that there have been a lot of things said about that, but we're not here to discuss that really. It is a part of what we're here to discuss. We are here to discuss the Arizona Cardinals taking care of business. It is time for an emergency episode, an emergency podcast, emergency video. For everyone interested, we're putting this up on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to put the audio up on the Blog on the Boys podcast network because our two podcasts on our podcast network, they're going to be coming out on Monday, New Year's Day, were recorded before all of the action on Sunday. That's just the way the schedules worked with our staff this week. And we have to talk about what happened. Of course, the Arizona Cardinals helping us out. Round of applause, everybody, for Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, James Conner, every single person on the Arizona Cardinals who made this happen. I was told, you were told, that it would be easy to blow out the Cardinals. I was told, you were told, that it was embarrassing that the Cowboys lost in Arizona to the Cardinals way back many moons ago in Week 3. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, with all control, not just for the NFC East, but thanks to the Cowboys beating the Lions on Saturday night, for the 2 seed in the NFC, those Philadelphia frauds lost at home to the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday afternoon, and in the process tilted control of those things, the NFC East and the 2 seed in the conference, back in favor of the good guys. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the NFC standings right now as of 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, by the way. That's when I'm putting this together for you on New Year's Eve. Obviously, there are games still happening at this moment, and Sunday Night Football is between the Vikings and the Packers, so those things will change, but those things are neither here nor there as they relate to the Cowboys. The Eagles lost. This is what we've been needing, obviously, since the Cowboys lost to the Dolphins, since the Cowboys lost to the Bills, right? We've needed the Eagles to slip up just one more time to put control back in the Cowboys' hands, and it happened. So if the Cowboys win next week against the Washington Commanders on the road, then the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East. As a result of winning the NFC East, and obviously all of the tiebreakers within the NFC playoff picture that you're looking at right now on your screen, they also take the 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture as a whole. That's why Saturday night's win over the Detroit Lions specifically is so seismic, because now Dallas has that over Detroit. And so if the Cowboys win, they are assured at the very least 2 home playoff games, assuming they win their first one. That is obviously a big assumption. No playoff game is ever an easy thing. We all would imagine that the Cowboys would be favorites against whoever the 7th seed wound up being. I think right now it'd probably be the Seattle Seahawks. Maybe the New Orleans Saints climb up there. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings fall back. Again, we do not know, but at the very least, if the Cowboys were to win their game next week, win the NFC East, take the 2 seed, and then win their wild card matchup, they would host that divisional round playoff game. The Cowboys have not hosted a divisional round playoff game in a very, very long time. In fact, it was 2016 when they didn't even play a playoff game, obviously, before it. In fact, the last time that the Cowboys hosted a divisional round playoff game, Mike McCarthy was there. It was the Jared Cook, Aaron Rodgers, Jeff Heath, how did he not fumble game, Mason Crosby game winner. It was such a heartbreaker of an event, but ever since then, in 2018, Dallas was a wild card team. In 2021, when Dallas won the division, they lost, obviously, in the wild card round, Last year, 2022, the Cowboys were a wild card team and had to travel to face San Francisco in the wild card round, in the divisional round. That's also what's big about this. Now, the Eagles' loss, coupled with the fact that the 49ers also took care of the Commanders themselves on Sunday, we're hoping to be that team next week, gave San Francisco the 1 seed. It's over. In fact, both 1 seeds throughout the entire NFL are now clinched. It is the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC and the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC. Beyond all the things that we've been talking about already, if the Cowboys win next week, they get the division, they get the 2 seed, they get at the very least 2 home playoff games. They also get the option for the 49ers maybe losing their divisional round playoff game after the bye. And if the Cowboys were to win their divisional round playoff game themselves, that would set Dallas up to host the NFC Championship game. But if it isn't obvious, that means that the Cowboys are assured, again, assuming they win next week, of avoiding the San Francisco 49ers until the NFC Championship game. Here's the thing. I understand that if you want to beat the best, you have to beat the best, and it's probable, it's likely, it's overwhelming that if Dallas is going to get to the Super Bowl this season, they're going to have to play the 49ers at one point. But that point will not come until the NFC Championship game, which is obviously much better than if it came at any point in time before then. Needless to say, if it isn't obvious, this was massive. This was literally the biggest possible thing that could have happened, and that it happened, of course, leading up to the final week of the regular season, diluted all of the things the Cowboys need down to 1. It's no longer multiple things. It's no longer magic number where it is a quantity larger than one. It is simply one thing, no matter what happens between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants next week. Whatever the case, if Philadelphia wins that game 100-0, as long as the Dallas Cowboys take care of one of the worst teams in the NFL in the Washington Commanders, a team that is actively trying to organically tank, the division is theirs. The 2 seed is theirs. The right to have at least 2 home playoff games before the NFC Championship game is there. The right to potentially benefit from the luck of somebody bouncing the Niners in the division around themselves, setting up an NFC Championship game at AT&T Stadium is theirs. The right to avoid San Francisco until the NFC Championship game if the 49ers win their first playoff game is theirs. And the fact is that the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday night accomplished a perfect regular season at home. If you did not know that, the Cowboys did not lose a single game at AT&T Stadium throughout the 2023 regular season. They have not lost a game there in a very, very, very long time. They are riding a 16-game home winning streak, and they are now 1 win away, again, against a very, very, very lowly Commanders team from having the path to the NFC Championship game at the very least run through their home building. Thank you, Jonathan Gannon. Thank you, Kyler Murray. Thank you, James Conner. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And the fact that it was them, I know that we have just been lamenting how Philadelphia has come so close to losing, right? It has just been right there and it hasn't happened. And the fact that it was Jackson Smith and Jigba for the Seattle Seahawks and Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals, 2 DFW guys, that they were the ones who ultimately put the Eagles in the spine is just so sweet and delicious. And on top of all of that, again, Eagles fans, anytime you've had any conversation or anytime you've said anything on the internet this year, any Eagles fan has come back and been like, yeah, but you lost to the Cardinals. And while we obviously all retorted with, you lost to the Jets, which made a lot of sense and was actually more embarrassing than Dallas losing to the Cardinals, the Eagles lost to the Cardinals themselves. I mean, this was maybe the most dysfunctional way that this Eagles collapse could have possibly gone on New Year's Eve at home in Philadelphia. They were up 21-6, and they lost this game. It is so embarrassing. It is so wonderful. It is so perfect in every single possible way. What a time to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. Now, once again, I'm recording this with one single breath, apparently, is how quickly I'm speaking to you, but recording this, it is now 3:34 p.m. Central Standard Time, and the timing and the date in which next week's Dallas Cowboys game is unknown. They set up Week 18 to leave a couple of games on Saturday and the rest of the games, obviously, on Sunday. If you don't know, this is how the NFL likes to roll. They like to leave the games with the most playoff implications for the afternoon, obviously, and then they leave the one with the most playoff implications for next week's Sunday Night Football game. I'd imagine right now that's probably going to be the Miami Dolphins game against the Buffalo Bills. That is for the AFC East, so you can bet your bottom dollar that's going to be the primetime game. I would bet that Dallas is a noon kick, and obviously that Philadelphia is going to be playing at the same time. They will not put them at different times. They will not stagger them because that would offer a competitive disadvantage to one team, or a competitive advantage to one is really the better way to put that. So they will be playing in parallel. It will be just like last year, if you recall, when we as Cowboys fans needed the Eagles to lose against the Giants and for the Cowboys to win against the Commanders. Dallas wasn't able to do that in order for Dallas to take the NFC East, but Philadelphia was able to, make quick hay of a Giants team that at the time was resting Daniel Jones. Again, I don't need to refresh your memory on all of that, but the point is they will probably be playing at the same time. I would bet that it's going to be on Sunday at noon, but we do not know the exact time or the exact day that game is going to be happening quite yet. So make sure you stay tuned to bloggingtheboys.com. Follow me on social media. I am at RJ Ochoa on Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I am RJ.Ochoa on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe here to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel if you're watching the video, or subscribe to the Blogging the Boys podcast network if you are listening to the podcast version of this show. An emergency episode that was the best possible thing. What a shock. What a surprise, by the way, that all of these wonderful and amazing and incredible things happened the moment that Jimmy Johnson, joined the place where he has belonged for a very long time, the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. The podcast audience cannot see. It's a Victory Polo Monday, Sunday edition, wearing my Jimmy Johnson Apex Polo. Wow, I am levitating, and I hope you are too. If I don't speak to you between now and then, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed, happy, safe New Year celebration. I hope you enjoy it, whether you watch movies or eat the grapes or the black-eyed peas or the cabbage or whatever it is. I hope it's wonderful for you in every single possible way. We got what we wanted. One game, one win away from all this happening, and of course, we'll be keeping tabs on all the other details and circumstances surrounding the Cowboys and their potential home playoff game as NFC East champions 2 weeks from now. Very, 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 very exciting stuff. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see you next time.